Hello everyone, welcome back to the Vintage Warlock channel. I hope you are all safe and well. And today we are going to be having a look at a Casio, but not just any Casio, a Casio from the Edifice range, a three-hander that may just be the absolute perfect everyday watch on a budget. So before we go into the review today, let's go through the specifications so we've got all of the basics out of the way before we critique this watch. So first of all, it's a 42mm case and it's a 48mm lug to lug with a 10.9mm case height. The 42mm would usually mean that it would be all dial and it would sit quite largely on the wrist, but a very compact lug to lug of 48mm really helps that. On the supplied bracelet, it comes in at 125 grams. I had to remove 2 of those. The bracelet itself isn't too bad. Yes, it is folded links, it's hollow links, but it's done in such a way where it feels a little more substantial than, let's say, the Seiko 5 range and other bracelets that you would get at that price. The case and the bezel material is stainless steel. Obviously it's a three-hander with a basic sort of pressed security clasp at the bottom. 100 meters of water resistance. Really interesting with this, I was to find that actually it's a screw down crown, so it is a proper 100 meters of water resistance. Usually if it's 100 meters, I try not to get it wet just because they usually don't have screw down crowns, but this one absolutely does. Quartz movement, it's the SR927SW and it has a 3-year battery life. Finally, you've got mineral glass covering the front of the watch, no anti-reflective undercoating, and a screw back lock which aids again with that 100 meters of water resistance. The accuracy of the quartz movement on here is accurate to plus or minus 20 seconds per month, which again for quartz is pretty good. So looking at this watch, you can see that it comes in a number of different colorways. It actually comes in a number of different sizes as well. You've got a 42mm, which is the one I'm reviewing today, and you've also got a 35mm version as well. That is readily available on sites such as Amazon. But today we're having a look at the 42mm. You've got a blue dial, a white dial, green dial, various versions of black on both stainless steel and leather straps. If I had my time again, I'd probably still go for the black dial. However, I do quite like the look of the green dial as well, and I may have taken a punt on that actually as well. Now, I think it's fair to say that this watch is an original design by Casio. However, I think there are a lot of markers and indications, especially with the newer version with the vertical lines, that sort of hark back to the looks of Omega and the Aquaterra range. So I think you could be fair to say that this maybe pays homage to in some sort of way, but I think it's got enough for itself to be a unique and interesting design in its own right. Now, despite the hollow links and rolled links, it actually sits really nicely on my 7.5-inch wrist. There's no picking of the hair at all. It's not uncomfortable for me to wear. It sits quite nicely, but also this watch as well, I don't think you're buying it for the bracelet, you're buying it for the dial. And if you can get past the idea of having just a braceleted watch, I think you'll find this watch also becomes a pretty good strap monster. Looking at this watch in particular, you can see that I've got the version with a sunburst sort of face. It has an incredible detail where you can see it sort of bounce and play off the light. In terms of the dial itself, you've got buttons all the way around. You've got thicker buttons at the 12, 6 and 9. At 3 o'clock you have a date window. Date window is not colour matched. It would have been really good if it was colour matched, but for the price that you're paying I can understand why it's not. However, because of the white indices, I don't think it takes too much away from the dial. You've got a minute track all the way around the outside. That's clear and legible. On the face of the dial itself, on the side of the dial coming up to the face, you can see indicators for each hour as well. The second hand has a splash of yellow which gives it a bit of colour. You've got the Edifice in bold at the top with the Edifice logo, Casio just underneath, and at the bottom you've got 100 meters of water resistance and Japan movement. And that's it really, a very simple dial and a very simple dial layout, and I think that's what makes this a perfect everyday everyday watch. I think the yellow, both in the 100 meters of water resistance and the second hand, really helps it in terms of popping a little bit and not looking completely plain Jane. But this is one of the other reasons as well why this watch lends itself so well to being a strap monster and being able to wear on different straps. So I think I should show you what it looks like on different straps. Now that we've got the fashion show out of the way and what I like about this watch, let's talk about a couple of things that I'm not so enamoured with the watch. First of all, hollow links. I'm not a massive fan of. I understand why it is on this watch, so I'm not going to pick at it too much, but obviously solid links are always much better, and they're less picky on the hairs as well. I'm not a big fan of the mineral glass across the top. Again, with the price point that you're getting, this is well under $100 or £100 in the UK. You're always going to get mineral with some of these big Japanese brands, but there is a big after modding scene, especially with Casios and Seikos. So potentially you could get a good piece of sapphire in on this as well to make it more versatile. Now, we'll get back to the video in just a moment, but I need to take a few minutes of your time to talk to you about Revolut. I'm an affiliate of Revolut, but not just an affiliate of Revolut Banking, I'm also a customer. I've been using Revolut Banking for a few years now, and it is for me the most perfect expense and investing app that I could hope for. I have accounts set up in US dollars, Canadian dollars, as my folks live there, euros, and of course the not so great British pound, but there are many more that you can choose from. All are relating to independent bank accounts, but they give you full control and access of your banking experience, and including what currency you want to send and receive money in, giving you the best value for money. But that's not all. Revolut also lets you invest in stocks and crypto, set up savings account, and create disposable single-use cards to be used along with your regular cards, making things such as online purchases for your next watch shop super secure. Revolut is simple and easy to use, and most importantly, it's completely free. Sign up today, link in the description. Now, let's finish off this video. But mineral crystal and bracelet aside, I can't really see anything else that's wrong with this watch. I think it's a solid entry point, especially if you're new to watches or if you just want a cheap everyday watch to wear. I think it's a bit of a strap monster, as you've seen before. I also think the design is so simple, and another bit that I didn't mention before is the loom is actually pretty good for a watch of this price point as well. It's not amazing, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it's much better than a lot of the AliExpress specials that you get for the same price point. So all in all, this watch is pretty decent. Another bit to add as well is with the quartz movement, the second hand constantly hits the markers as well, which is something that I know a lot of people don't like if it doesn't hit, and it can be a pet peeve of theirs. It doesn't bother me so much. However, this one, it's quite nice to know that it constantly hits the markers and it doesn't miss. So I think I'm definitely going to try and mod this watch somewhere along the line, and by mod I mean do a little bit more than just add in a different strap. I'm probably going to try and swap out that crystal for sapphire, and I'll try and get to it at some point. This will be one of my first modding exercises apart from some of the Vostocks that I used to have back in the past. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you fancy me doing that. I will obviously give it a go, give it my best shot. If you like the style of this video, please like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Links to my Instagram are below, and thank you very much for taking part in this video, guys, and I'll see you in a future one.